What is up, everybody? It is definitely a Monday. I don't know if y'all are feeling that, but I am. I had a fantastic weekend. Kelly was calling me a redneck because I enjoy a pontoon boat.
Megan, I also enjoy pontoon boats. I'm just saying it's a little rednecky if you really enjoy pontoon boats. And I was trying to say that I thought it would be a funny play if we named our next dozen team like a play on rednecks. Megan said absolutely not. I'm
I
kind of
didn't
sad
say
about it.
absolutely not. I said fuck no. That's
Oh,
where I
sorry.
draw
Yes,
the
she did say
line.
fuck no.
But yeah, no, we're. I'm not a redneck. I just enjoy.
You're a hillbilly?
I enjoy the slightest amount of trash. So like like a lot of people, like
Like you were making jungle juice on a pontoon boat all weekend.
well, it wasn't jungle juice. It was actually a vodka drink, which I call pink drink, and everyone that has ever tasted it has loved it. And it
Okay, well, I'm going to need that recipe.
gets you really fucked up, and it also keeps you hydrated, which is always an extra bang for your buck. And on that note, let's talk about a bang for your buck. Last episode was that or the one before? We were talking about most interceptions. Who is going to throw the most interceptions? You said that you were going to come back today with an official ticket. You have a ticket. I have a ticket. I am excited to hear what you have to say. Mine is different than yours. I know sometimes I like to piggyback off of you because you are the sharp and you did kill football season last year. But I decided to use my own brain today. So, Kelly, who is going to be the king of INTs this season?
So this is my thought process that went into handicapping how I was going to decide who was throwing the most interceptions last year. It was the Super Bowl champion Matt Stafford coupled with your boy Joe Burrow, and those
Two
two guys
Super Bowl
had
champions.
what's that?
Two technically, not two champions, but two Super Bowl
Contenders. There you
contenders.
go.
There we go.
I'm looking at a couple of factors. One, I'm looking at who's got a bad offensive line this year. I'm looking at who has some mediocre receiving corps, and in this case, who may be missing their wide receiver one for a earlier part of the season. I'm looking for teams that really don't have a great running game, or at least don't have the ability to dump off to the running back. These are all things that start to force turnovers, coupled with facing really good pass rushing defenses and strength of schedule. So the first one I was really looking at was Baker Mayfield. He's 10-1. He threw 13 interceptions last year, and the Panthers have the 14th hardest strength of schedule. And I thought at 10-1, Baker just maybe was going to throw the most. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to look a little deeper. And
Okay.
then I started looking at Marcus Mariota. He's 40-1. Falcons have the 23rd toughest schedule this year, Megan. And last year, he didn't throw any interceptions because he was a backup to Derek Carr. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give Mariota the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to wait and not bet him either. So I kind of started sifting through the guys in the middle of the pack. And unfortunately, I'm going to pick on Kyler Murray. 25-1 is what he was at the Barstool Sportsbook when I bet this. Hopefully, he is still 25-1 at this very moment. I do not have it open on my computer. He threw only 10 interceptions last year, Megan. But this year, as you know, got no DeAndre Hopkins. They play the 24th hardest, for 6 games, excuse me. He will be back a game 7. They play the 24th hardest schedule. They face one of the toughest schedules in terms of pass rush defenses,
There
excuse
you
me.
go.
And frankly, their running game is marginal at best. They've got some struggles on the O-line. I'm going to be honest with you. This was tough. This was a really tough handicap for me. And I thought, you know what? 25-1, he's worth a $100 bet. That'll give me some entertainment, especially if I end up betting on the Cardinals and he throws an interception. Maybe I won't be as mad.
Ooh, right. That's exactly what you can do. I don't hate that train of thought, but I'm gonna go in a different direction here. And so I saw whether it was either one of our fantastic producers, Jake or Jack, go around the office and ask who everyone thought would have the most INTs this season. And there was 2 or 3 people who had my same answer. My answer is Mr. Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh.
Why? New coach, new offense. He's got a shiny new toy in Tyreek Hill. But I have a question. Has Tyreek Hill proven that he is or can be as good without Patrick Mahomes? That's not necessarily my only reason, but I also think that Tua is going to push, 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 push. I think he's going to be Tua scrambling around trying to make these plays. And what's going to happen? The ball's going to end up in someone else's hands. He's at plus 1,400 over at the Barstool Sportsbook. And not to mention, he's a left-handed quarterback. Not a big fan of left-handed quarterbacks. I think being left-handed is kind of weird. No offense out there. Anything with my left hand. And I mean anything. I could write.
Megan, I'll be really honest with you. You think that your left hand is useless, but I chopped my finger down a few years ago cooking all the way to the bone, and my left hand was basically rendered useless. You use your left hand a lot more than you think you are.
Yeah, I would plan to. The only thing I really do my left hand for is when I need like a good left hook. That's really
there. You go, rough and rowdy.
Rough and rowdy. Which if anyone didn't know, Alex Bennett wanted to fight me whenever she first came to Barstool and Rough and Rowdy.
What? Is she insane?
I don't know if she was ready for that smoke. I think she thought maybe we were same size, same wrists and stuff. But I mean, I just.
Oh no! Listen, I think Megan is very nice. I think Megan's a lover, not a fighter. And I have been in entirely too many fights in my life. That is not a brag. And I will tell you this much right now. You do not want to fight Megan. I would not want to fight you.
I just get angry. I get this like.
It's not angry. You have a long reach. You're significantly taller than me. And the only opportunity I'm going to have is if I throat punch you.
Yeah, you would. Or if you
can't do that in Rough and Rowdy.
You pop me in the titties. There's like a scary movie where they're just like hitting someone in the titties. I feel like that's what I would do to you.
I think it is a scary movie.
I think it is. On to the AFC East, though. So we already know who the NIT King's going to be. It's either going to be Mr. Kyler Murray. I don't know if you saw that little clip, too. He was like that Kingsbury let him play call in the fourth quarter.
And he's
horrific. Like, man, this shit's harder than I thought. Yeah, that's why you fucking play football and you're not a coach, kiddo.
But kiddo, did you call him kiddo because he's short?
No.
Okay.
I would never do that. Half of our company is short.
Me included, but it's okay when women are short, right?
But let's move on.
Tell Jack Mack that.
East. I would say Jack's tall. Jack's taller than
No, other Jack. Ginger Jack. Redhead Jack. He doesn't like to be called that either.
He doesn't. I mean, I feel like he's red bearded more than redheaded. He's more Auburn. We'll get into that later. Jack Mack, I'm on your side. All right, let's move in to the AFC East. The Bills minus 200 to win the division. Their win total is sitting at 11.5. We said this last year. Bills Mafia, so much fun. Josh Allen, so much fun to watch. You know what's not fun? Laying minus 200 on a divisional future or laying minus 141 on the over as far as the win total. Neither one of those things sound very fun to me. Let's see, the defense last year only allowed 289 points in their 17-game schedule, which seems like a lot, but they were only allowing 17 points per game. So that defense was doing what it was. D was D'ing, all right? D was supposed to D. They did that. My thing is, I just don't want to pay juice on a divisional future. I don't want to pay juice on a win total. The juice is not worth the squeeze, if you will, in my opinion. Do I think this Bills team is set to go? Yes, I do. I think Josh Allen is an incredible quarterback. I think they can do some really great things. As I said, I think that they're very capable of going over that win total at 11.5. I think this could easily be a 12-13 win team. But as far as me taking a future on them, I'm looking elsewhere as far as value goes. Also, to throw that out there, there is a bet. I think it's a Dan and Big Cat bet, or I mean a Dave and Big Cat bet. I'm sorry, where you can either it's Bills and Bucks to win the divisions. And my thing is, I put a little bit of money on that because it's plus 125. Okay, so if either one of those win, I get money back, or if they both win, I get money back. But I'm kind of thinking of a little hedge here along with that, because as I said, there's a different team in this division that I think has a possibility to win it.
Well, we know you don't think it's the Dolphins if you think Tua's going to throw the most interceptions this year.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is, well, I do like the Bills. Well, I do think that they're set up to win the division. As far as me trying to, I feel like I'm almost playing a horse race here. This is just too heavy of a favorite for me, with way too many variables long out from before the season. Again, I love the Bills. I love Josh Allen. Bills Mafia would be the first team I hop on if I were to ever not be. Well, no, it would be Bengals then Bills. Sorry, I lied. Don't roll your eyes at me. But I do. I just. I'm not. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I will say that if you made me pick, gun to my head, I do like the over win total here at 11.5. I think they're easily a 12 to 13 win team as long as Josh Allen stays healthy. But again, no actual play here. Hopefully, you have a play.
Yeah, Megan, I'm with you. Laying juice on a season win total is not usually my jam. Obviously, the Bills are the front runners to win the Super Bowl this year, and unfortunately, I think that's usually like bad luck. It's not ever
Yeah,
good
is there
for.
any like data behind that? Data?
I need to actually find some. I wish that I would have come with some, and I didn't think about it until just this very second. So I will look and see how bad the Vegas jinx really is. Listen, this is a Bills team that should be favored in 14, if not 15 games. They absolutely should improve on defense with the addition of Von Miller. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, he's my favorite defensive player in the league. I love that man. That being said, last year their defense looked good on paper, but they weren't good against really efficient offenses like the Chiefs and the Bucks. So they've got to fix some things there. They were very fortunate on the injury side of things last year. Hopefully that can carry over into this season. The thing about the Bills and why I do think they will go over and win at least 12 games is last year they were 0-5 in one score games. Something has to give. Sean McDermott, get your shit together. That is just unacceptable. That being said,
I hope
they
that he's
don't.
listening to this.
Yeah, they don't have a solid running game.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, come on, that's just not 0-5 in one score games. That means you're missing field goals, giving up late touchdowns. That's just disgusting. Like nobody wants to see that. How are you going to cover if you can't even win? I love Josh Allen as well, Megan, and I do think that he actually was one of the ones I was looking at in terms of throwing many interceptions, and Tua Tagovailoa, we'll get to here in a minute, was also on my long list. And that was just because we've seen him play really, really well, and I'm afraid he may be due for a little bit of regression to the mean. But I do think this Bills team has all the opportunity to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm not going to bet on it. I just can't. I can't bet on the favorite to win the Super Bowl. It's just not in my DNA. I do think that they are absolutely going to win the AFC East. And I do love Stephon Diggs. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to get him in the second round. So apologize to all the Bills fans when and if he gets hurt because I did so. That being said, Megan, I'm with you. I really do lean towards the over here. And as far as 11.5 wins goes, it seems almost downright disrespectful, but the bookmakers have to account for stupid things that the Bills do, like those one score games like last season. So I'm with you here. Hopefully they don't fuck around and lose to a team similar to the Jags this year and embarrass everybody and kill all the survivor pools.
Yeah, hopefully not. And also, just for everyone that missed, whenever Kelly and I were talking about most interceptions last time, let me just go back to my notes so that I make sure that I'm right. Last year, Stafford was number one, tied with Trevor Lawrence. Second was Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. Third was Burrow. Fourth, Pat Mahomes. Fifth, Brady. So just remember, if you think, your quarterback is a GOAT and won't throw interceptions, you're probably going to get quite a few more than you anticipated. So on to the Dolphins, plus 450. They have, I think we have a Patriots next. So let's do Patriots next and then go back to Dolphins. Or Jack, it's up to you. We can just jump back. There we go, Patriots. Both of these guys are both set at plus 450, 8.5 win totals. And Kelly, I need to ask you, why do you think that these are priced the same? The exact same.
This is tough. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because things get a little iffy.
If you're not allowed, don't do it. Maybe just text
I
me.
don't think nothing's wrong. Am I not allowed to bet my friends? I think I'm allowed to bet my friends, especially my friends that are fans of certain teams.
No, not cash. Just you have friendly bets.
But then it's like almost like a free out, Jackson. I don't know if you guys can hear Jack in my ear, but he's talking. He threw me completely off my game. But I don't think the Pats are going to win 8 games this year. And I make this bet every year because I'm a fucking idiot. I think I'm like 4-1 or something in the last 5 years making this bet. I even did a video for our Instagram talking about how Tom Brady got this team over the hump. And the only one that I think I either won or pushed was the year that Cam Newton was the quarterback for the Patriots, which would have been what, 2019, 2018, something like that. They all kind of run together these days, Megan. That being said, I am going to be on the under 8.5 wins. I love Bill Belichick. I think he's one of the greatest coaches ever. But the reason why these guys are priced at the same price as Miami, because Miami is getting a lot of chatter in the press, and we'll get to that here in a minute. I do not have a problem with Mac Jones. Brian Hoyer is a fine backup quarterback, but this is just a team that I don't think is going to supersede expectations. Last year, I was well on my way. Megan, I was just fucking cruising. September, October, texting my buddy Ben, saying, Ben, we got this all but locked up. And then here come the Pats. And I think they won like 5 or 6 in a row. And I was like, I hate you all. I hate everybody and everything. I'm done betting against this team. That being said, I'm betting against them again.
Good, because I like the Pats and I like them to win the division, and I like them total over the 8.5. Call me crazy. Call me. You didn't play into my joke earlier. You said, they have Mac Jones, and I said, who? And you were supposed to say Mac Jones.
Oh, Mike, that's Mike Jones. Sorry.
Yeah, same difference.
My brain doesn't work that way.
Look, great to good rookie season. Almost threw for 4,000 yards. Had quite a few INTs, but so did every other gunslinger that was up. Whether you won a Super Bowl or whether you went to one, you were still throwing a shit ton of interceptions. So let's not blame Mac Jones there. And obviously, we have seen what Bill Belichick can do with average built white men, aka Mac Jones. I honestly, I'm looking and I'm like, man, I don't like the Dolphins. As I said, they're getting a ton of the talking heads or chatterboxes. Tua is throwing bombs at camp. Chatterboxes. Don't listen to.
Yeah, did you see Skylar Thompson's touchdown though? I was very, very happy about that one.
Yeah, he was pretty great. And as I said, I'm kind of making it's kind of a hedge here of me liking the Patriots, because if I took Dave and Dan's bet, which I did, for the Bills and the Bucks to win their divisions at plus 125, I can either make some money back there, or if the Patriots end up sneaking their way in and somehow winning the AFC East, I'm getting plus 450 odds there. Real quick, an addition that I was looking at today that I forgot the Patriots added was Devontae Parker. And I will say, I know you know who Randy Moss is. Remember when he played for the Raiders? Not great. Remember what happened when he went to the Patriots?
They won a Super Bowl.
Absolute fucking rebirth, baby. Jackie can clip that. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm saying that if there was a team, there was a coach, if there was a quarterback that I think are all making steps towards being a 8, 9, 10, or division winning, season, I think that the Patriots, I think that Mac Jones, I think Devontae Parker, I think that could be some magic happening there. I'm not by any means putting my life on this. As I said, it is just a sprinkle, almost a little hedge, if you will, as I've already taken the plus 125, which is a great bet over at the Barstool Sportsbook. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dave. But I do like the Patriots over their 8.5 wins. I already have that locked in. I do have a ticket, and I like the Patriots just a sprinkle to win the division. I know that you do not, but it's just a sprinkle, and it's just and I'm usually not a Patriots girl. Usually I'm like, fuck the Patriots. Y'all have gotten too much. Y'all have gotten yours. But I'm kind of into them this year. Is that weird?
I don't think it's weird, Megan. Everything you said makes sense. Listen, Bill Belichick absolutely does more with less. And you know what he does really good at? With a good pocket passing quarterback. You know what that does? That opens up the run game. And we know that's what Bill Belichick loves to do. My problem is here, and the reason why I'm going to be on the under is because the Patriots have one of the hardest
They do have
schedules.
A hard schedule. It's like the 8th hardest?
Last year they had one of the easiest schedules. And you know what they do? They beat up on inferior opponents all the time. That's what the Pats do. They did get some lucky wins over the Titans, who didn't have half of their team, including King Henry, and then got that one win versus the Bills in where Mac Jones didn't even throw the ball. That was such an egregious, frustrating win. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to get really angry. Okay, anyway, back to their schedule. This year, they've got 3 short road games. That means short week road games, excuse me. And that's kind of where Bill Belichick doesn't do well. If you remember last year, right after the bye week, they really, really, really struggled. And I'm banking on that again this year. I think they're going to win 8 games.
Wasn't their offensive coordinator left, correct? He's gone, right?
Let me double check that. But
Because
yes,
my issue is I think that maybe he had a foot out of the door already at the
yes,
beginning of the season.
Belichick is now the offensive coordinator,
Okay,
and
so I
then his
my
son Steve with the mullet is still the
right.
defensive
So I
coordinator.
think maybe that like that back end of the season, maybe that O coordinator has foot out the door. He already knew he was going, and maybe that they just kind of gave like he kind of gave up, and everyone else did too. I just have this weird gut feeling about them, almost like I did whenever I tweeted jokingly like OBJ went to the Rams, they're gonna win the Super Bowl, and everyone thought I was
And I said the opposite. I'm like, everybody fucking relax. This
a
guy
right.
is not going to equate to a Super Bowl win, and then he tears his ACL in the Super Bowl, and they still
They
won.
still win. It doesn't matter. My gut feelings, sometimes they manifest themselves. So if you're a Patriots fan, either I've just killed your team or I brought you to a divisional title. You're welcome. Let's move on to the team that is priced exactly the same for no reason at all, and that is
For
the
no reason at all.
Miami Dolphins. Plus 450 to win the division. Is it to a time? I don't know. Does anybody know? I know he's throwing bombs at practice. I get that. He does have that interesting new toy in Tyreek Hill. He's got Waddle to, run in the flat, but I don't know if Tua is actually going to be a serviceable quarterback. He looks great whenever he doesn't seem to be under real pressure, right? Like you're when you're throwing bombs at practice, it's practice, like how good is that? But I say that, and then he played for the fucking University of Alabama, and then I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like he was surrounded by absolute fucking stars, no matter whether O line, whether it was his tight end, whether it was his receivers, whether it was running back, he had the help he needed every single angle. I know that he's getting Tyreek Hill, but is that going to be enough? Like, I looked at this and I just felt, no pun intended, that it was a little fishy that the Dolphins and the Pats were priced the same.
Megan, it's tough because you were just over here tooting Devontae Parker's horn, and I don't think he's that great. I don't think he's an upgrade at all. In fact, I think Waddle is going to be better for this team, and he is on my long list of guys if they're still available for
I
me
want to
to
make it
pick
clear.
up.
I wasn't tooting Devontae Parker's horn. I was saying that I feel like if there was a place he could go for a rebirth, I feel like the
Okay, that's
Patriots
fair. And
organization.
maybe look, when I worked with Chad Johnson back in my former life, he
Nice.
told me that Bill Belichick runs that team like the military. So you
Oh,
get some guys that don't do well in other organizations, and they go to New England, and guess what? They sink or they swim. I'm with you. I think that could be really good for him. The problem is that he couldn't get any separation in Miami, and I think that Waddle is going to be really great because guess what they're going to do? They're going to double team Tyreek Hill.
it
And
was the
that is going to come
humidity.
into play when you're talking about Tua throwing interceptions. That
I
is
blame everything on the humidity.
for sure. Yeah, you just wait. God, if you've ever been to a game in Miami, holy fuck, is it hot?
Have you
It is
been
like
to Miami in
miserable. I
general?
think
So
we
you
were on like
just
the third row last year, and I was just dying. I was just like, this is the hottest game I've ever been to in my life. And then
the
I went to the
second
100
off
degree.
the plane in Miami, you're like, why the fuck did I come here?
Well, also, you're really hungover. Like, that doesn't help things either. So you just got to keep drinking.
Okay.
But as far as Mike McDaniels goes, I think he's going to be a great head coach. I'm very excited to see what he can do. I really thought that he was a great coordinator with San Francisco. He is able to kind of mold some of these quarterbacks, especially kind of like a wild card like Tua. And I do think that Tua should be able to take that leap forward that we all expect him to. I do hate how all the talking heads are on that bandwagon as well because you put too much pressure on guys like Tua and it doesn't always equate well. So, that being said, that's why the Dolphins really, really, really spent a ton of money on their offensive line, even though I don't know if we're going to see that dividend return right now. They also don't have a great running game, and that concerns me. Their
That
strength of
means so
schedule,
many more interceptions being thrown.
I'm telling you, it was on my long list. I'm with you. It really was. My problem is I don't know if Tua is going to be the starting quarterback all season long. We'll see how that ends up playing
Teddy
out.
Bridgewater? Is it gonna
I
be
love Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy was not great. He was great in Carolina, then he was not great in Denver. I'm afraid if Tua, there could be a scenario where we either see Tua get hurt or Tua get benched, and that's the main reason why I didn't pick him to throw the most interceptions. I do have concerns with his health overall, and then I also have concerns with the strength of schedule that the Dolphins are playing this year. Now, while it's only a top 15 tough schedule, they have an extra road game, and then they have 3 road games in a row: 49ers, Chargers, and Bills. And that is just going to be an absolute and utter gauntlet for this team. 8.5 wins is interesting. I
I
think they could. I think they can win 8 games, 9 games, sure, but it's just too much of a coin flip for me to even get involved. I think that the Bills are far superior to the Dolphins and to the Pats. And while I love plus money, I'm just not willing to take the shot here against the Buffalo Bills.
I completely understand that, and that's why you're the sharp person, and I'm sitting over here talking about Mac Jones. But let's go ahead and talk about another guy that might want to talk about me. Let's go ahead and talk about Zach Wilson and the Jets. Sup, Zach Wilson? Still here to talk if you need me. Just kidding. I'm married, and I'm way too old for you.
And that's never stopped you before. I've seen some of your tweets, Megan.
Just kidding. That's a bit, if anyone doesn't know that by now. If you know my husband, he's the best in the entire world. But regardless to what I think of him, and regardless to what anyone else does, we're talking about the Jets right now. We're talking about Zach Wilson. I don't know what the win total is because I'm not even sure if they know that they can win a game. The bookmakers, I'm not sure even know if they can win a game. It seems like the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Bills headed to the school bus stop and left the Jets there. And they're all ready for the NFL. And the Jets are just kind of wondering why they got left, why they're still sitting there. Well, it's because you suck. I am putting no money onto this team. Honestly, I don't care how hard I don't care how hard Zach prays to old John Smith. I don't think anything's happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and just triple, quadruple pass on this team. Incomplete total. Fine.
Smash or pass. Megan's passing. I already took the under. This one opened 5.5 wins at the Barstool Sportsbook. Quickly got bet up to 6 minus 135. I took the under, and I was conversing with some people on Twitter the other day, and they were already congratulating me because Zach Wilson got hurt in the first preseason game. Everybody pumped the brakes. I consulted not one but 2 doctors because I wanted to know what their thoughts were on the Zach Wilson injury, and I've heard either he's going to have surgery tomorrow, and either he's going to be out for a month, which means he's going to miss week 1, or 2, he's going to be out for the entire season. Well, let's just talk about worst case scenario. Let's just say he's out for the entire season. Megan, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Are we just completely discrediting Joe Flacco? I would much rather have Zach Wilson when I'm holding an under 6 wins ticket than Joe Flacco.
100%. I agree with you.
I don't want Joe Flacco. And I understand people are trying to reverse jinx my under 6 wins bet, but now I am like, fuck, please, Zach Wilson, only be hurt for like 3 weeks, because guess what? They're going to lose to the Ravens week 1. They're going to lose to the Browns week 2. They're going to lose to the Bengals week 3. They're going to have a toss-up game against Pittsburgh week 4. Come on. Like, I should really easily cash this under with Zach Wilson, who's thinking about moms that look like Megan, as opposed to Joe Flacco, who's like, hey, I'm tired of everybody shitting on me. I have this ability.
Poor Joe Flacco. He's like the replacement quarterback. If you need a quarterback, call Andy Dalton or Joe Flacco.
Seriously.
He's one of those guys will show up in full pads, ready to go. They probably already know your playbook, probably already played on your team before you. They've just getting passed around.
There you go. Listen, this is a Jets team that I don't understand the love for prior to the Zach Wilson injury whatsoever. They play one of the toughest schedules, the 4th toughest schedule in the NFL this season.
That's just not even true.
What? The first 4 games are all NFC North opponents. How that happened, I don't know. That's super weird. I'm looking at it right now and going, who did that to these guys? Because that is mean to me basically an 0-4 start, or at best a 1-3 start. This defense has no pass rush.
None.
They are maybe, in my opinion, going to win 4 games, which is what they won last year. Maybe. I bet this under every single year. This is a team that struggles on both sides of the ball. They're always hurt. I like Robert Saleh. I really do. I think he is a good coach. But this Jets team has so many issues. It's hard to even begin where to start. I mean, I can't say that anything that they do is in the top 20. I could maybe say that they have some okay receivers.
They're in the top 20 worst teams in the NFL. That's what you can say.
Yeah, they're probably in the top 7, probably top 5. Listen, I understand Zach Wilson should should be better than he was last year if he's going to play.
He's got
I just can't get on board with this Jets team. Like I said, I've been fading them for years, and I'm just going to continue to do so until I've seen otherwise. And as of right now, this team is just a problem. They are not good. And the defenses in the AFC East will eat this kid alive, just like they did last year. And then you play the Browns, the Steelers, also both great pass defenses. The NFC North sucks. That's who they're playing, the Bears, the Packers, Vikings, and Lions as well. But really, what's the best they're going to do against those teams? 2-2? Do you really think that they're going to – the Lions and the Jets? What a dumpster fire of a game.
I will not be watching that. The reason why the Jets have NA on the side is because they're just a non-applicable football team.
Listen, you get so many people that are like, oh my God, look at their draft. Look at their draft. Every time I turn on the TV, I'm like, I don't care about their draft. Yes, Breece Hall is an absolute and utter stud. I do think that, well, I kind of feel sorry for him that he got drafted by the Jets. I do think that he will be able to run, but they're going to be using him as a blocking back. And they're going to fuck around and get him hurt. And then I will be really pissed off because he was so exciting to watch in the Big 12, except when he was playing Kansas State. Hopefully that doesn't happen for him. And don't worry, I won't be drafting him, so I'm sure he's going to be just fine.
All right. On that note, Kelly is not willing to venture out on the plus money side of things with me, as I like the Patriots to win the AFC East. I also like their win total over. Kelly thinks it is the Bills division to run away with. And on that note, that's the end of our show today, but I will say that it is Making Money Monday, so if you want to head on over to the Barstool Sportsbook, opt in, place a $25 wager on my bet today. It is the Phillies, Twins, and Dodgers all to win. I really feel like this one's going to hit. It was plus 269 whenever I put it out.
Of course it was.
It fluctuates. Of course it was. You're right. Of course it was. Yeah, so go ahead, bet that. Plus 269 is what I took it at. Again, could fluctuate. If it all hits, you get your fat cash. And if it doesn't, for each leg that hits, you get $10 back. And I promise you at least $10 today. I promise I'm not going over. Scouts honor. So we love you guys. We'll be back here on Thursday covering some more AFC. We got about 2 left, and then we're moving on to fucking college football. How exciting is that? We're so close. I will say to that point, Miles Brennan, I love you. You've done great. You've been a great kid since I've known you forever. Keep your head up. We love you down in Louisiana and everywhere else. But yeah, see y'all Thursday.